everyone, welcome back to Fibersandfloss Canada. If you stumbled across this channel, this is a channel all about cross stitch, and if you're new here, you're very welcome. And any returning viewers, thank you so much for your continuing support. It does mean a lot to me. Today, a couple things I want to do. I wanted to wrap up kind of all my fall stitching. I'm just obviously itching to get into Christmas and start all my fun cross stitches that are more seasonal towards Christmas and winter. So I want to wrap up my fall. I want to talk about Christmas. I want to share a virtual advent that I have planned for you guys from Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas on Instagram. And I want to talk about a stitchy meetup that is happening on the 23rd of November. And my round robin has come back to me. And I think that's pretty much all I have planned for you guys today. So I always start off with Book of Days, of course. Now I'm excited because I've ordered 2025 from Traditional Stitches in Canada, and they anticipate that that should be shipped out sometime this week. I've actually ordered it for a Christmas gift, part of my Christmas gift, so I won't get it right away. I'll kind of tuck it away till Christmas. When I spoke with you last on a regular Flosstube, I think it was end of October. So this is my October Book of Days. You can see I stitched most of the days there, but again, my theme this, September onwards has been less stitching than usual for myself. I didn't get any stitching done these 2 days, and of course any days that are fully stickered, there was no stitching happening. Of course, all the little red hearts are days where I got to meet up with other stitchers or my ladies group, which is kind of just generalized crafts or board games, whatever we're into. And this is November so far. So I'm also excited for November. There's a couple extra hearts on there, which is great. This one here last week, I hosted a stitchy lunch with some stitchers and Flosstubers, and it was really fun. I'll put some pictures in here. I didn't actually take pictures of people. I'm never really sure, if I should be sharing those or not, or, sometimes the picture on Instagram is okay, but people feel different about Flosstube. So I did make a amazing Swedish sandwich style cake, which I'll put a picture of. It was really delicious. And if you guys are creative, which I assume you guys all are, I highly encourage you guys to make one of these. And I'll put the name on the screen because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. And now I don't have it written in front of me, but I think it's like smorgasstrata or something like that. Essentially all it is you end up making layers of, I use sourdough and then like savory layers in between. So I did what did I do? Arugula, wild salmon, like horseradish and mustard layer, and a fresh dill egg layer, a guacamole and cucumber layer, and then the top was fresh shrimp and a little bit of miscellaneous things. And so it's a really, really fun thing to do. You end up icing it with like a cream cheese icing, but it's really fun just to decorate. So this is obviously not like a blog about food, so I'm gonna move on, but highly recommend. It's a showstopper and it's a lot of fun to make. You can just Google it. I'll put the name in the description box for you, but there's some really good websites that describe the process, and you can do it a day ahead, which makes it a bit easier for you. So we had a stitchy meetup. It was great, really lovely to see everybody, see all the projects people are working on, and I'm excited because on November the 23rd, Manvir for Mama Bear Stitching on Instagram has arranged another Stitchers at the Library for us in Surrey. So if you're local in the Lower Mainland, it's actually a really good location. It's right off the number 1, and it's on the SkyTrain route, so it should be quite accessible for everybody. If you're interested, come drop in. There's no cost. You just show up. It's from 2 to 4:30. And it's really fun just to, see who's around. And, there are more stitchers here than you think there may be in communities where people are living. So it's that sounds dumb, right? Where people are living. What I'm trying to say is that in your community, there are more people that stitch than you may realize. That, you know, the common thing I'm getting from a lot of people is that they are the only people that they know of that stitch in their community. You know, how can they connect with other people that have similar interests? You know, so I do encourage you guys to start searching out local embroidery guilds. Quite often, although it's embroidery, they do welcome other forms of stitching. Stitchers at the library is a common one as well. A lot of cities have that. And just look at any sort of fabric fiber crafts and see what comes up. And as soon as you can make a connection one way, you can make, you know, connections with other people. You can also look at hosting something yourself with Stitchers at the library and advertise it at any, you know, quilting shops you have, any craft stores, any place where people, community centers, you know, where people kind of go to create that connection. So, if you're around, please join us on the 23rd. It will be a lot of fun. If you want more details, it's on my Instagram or on Mama Bear Stitching on Instagram as well. So yeah, so excited for that. Now, November was Nora November, and I had a really fun new start. I started Tigerlily by Nora Corbett, and this is a very old out of print pattern. She's gorgeous though. My girlfriend Samantha stitched her years ago, and I've always just, you know, I've seen her stitch it. I thought, oh, those colors are beautiful, and I can't wait to stitch that. So I dove in and I started. So this is the first piece I'm going to share with you today. It is stitched on, what is it? It's some Wrinkled Fabrics out of the States, and the color is New York Moss. I'm using the color for 32 count, and this is where I'm at with her. She is so beautiful. Look at those colors. It's so vibrant. Now, this pattern is actually almost the 50% mark, she's part of the Pixie Couture line, and they are rather small. I think when it's done, it's about 5.5 inches by maybe 8 or 9 inches, something like that. And so she just has these little legs that stick out here, a little bit more in the dress, and she has some beautiful wings and her head. And so I'm actually stalled out. I've started on the wings, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion because I'll put a picture in the screen here so you can see the colors a little bit better. But the called for pattern in the wings at this point didn't have any cry neck. It's all DMC floss, and it's like a gray, blue, and white. And I want to make them a little bit shinier. So I have a couple considerations. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should go ahead and just stitch it in the called for DMC, which I'm leaning towards not doing. The other option is to stitch it with wings more kind of silvery blue. You know, the color of the pattern would be about the same, but it would have some sparkle. So that's option 1 is DMC. Option 2 is bluey gray cryonic. Or I got a little crazy and I thought, look at this. Now, I don't know how I can show this to you guys. There goes one. I'm not gonna pick it up. It was a gray one, but I don't know if you can kind of, how can I do this? Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Hold on. I have some golds and pinks, and I am very tempted to stitch those. Okay, I think this is gonna work. I have to be fast. These colors here. And so, I don't know if you can kind of see them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to do more of the pinks and golds, to be honest. So, leave a comment. Let me know DMC, pinks and golds, or blues and silvers. And I will stitch whatever you guys decide. Oh, that's crazy for me to say that. I'm such a control freak, you know, but you guys decide, and that's what I'm gonna stitch. Moving on before I can change my mind. I am using otherwise all the call for DMC so far on that one, and I'm really enjoying the fabric. I picked that one up at Threadneedle Street in Issaquah, and it has quite a bit of green in it. I've never seen one like that before, so happy with that for sure. So the next piece I stitched on, my table is just out of reach today. is a Tono by Satsuma Street. And so this is one that I had started, I think mid-October. And I had just done a little bit of the border. I'll put a picture in of where I was. This one here is stitched on 32 count white by Zweigart. And I'm using the Called for DMCs, and this is where I'm at. So my goal here, well, it looks very wavy there, doesn't it? It's just not stretched on the board right, I suppose. But my goal was to finish the frame and get at least one of the blocks done. So I was able to do that. This frame is all stitched in a variegated DMC. And for the most part, you know, in the beginning here, you can tell I wasn't too picky with how I was stitching it. You can see up at the top here. But towards the bottom half of the frame, I made a bit more conscious effort. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak or think of the word now. I was a bit more aware of how I was stitching that just to get the blends, right? And so it's always, you can see here, I may redo that. I don't know, that might bother me a bit, those ones there. Being variegated, that actually might be more work than it's worth to do that. I don't know. I'll probably just leave it because I think once you end up with the other blocks in there stitched, you wouldn't really notice that as much. Right now, your eye is definitely drawn to it because it's the only thing there, right? So, all right. I have one more piece of fall stitching, and that is my Turkey Day. So this one here, this is a fun project. You know, I really like the colors that they have chosen on it. This is Cottage Garden Samplings. It's a fun one. I like look at the color in the neck. Anyways, it's been fun to stitch. And you notice how Cottage Garden Samplings tends to do this on a lot of their patterns with these little like diamond designs. Do you see that? They take those 4 stitches and then they end up, that's gonna, you know, just give you some of the texture in their wings. So this one here is stitched on a, I think it's a 32 count as well. 32 count mallow. It's funny because I feel like all I'm stitching on lately is 40 count. But yet, I guess that's a lie. Oh, this is 40 count as well. Yeah, to peek under the board. So here's where I'm at. He's been really fun to stitch too. I have to tell you though, I struggled with this one quite a bit because the threads, the variegated thread that's used throughout here and here and that's one color. There's 2 variegated threads, yeah. So this brown is a variegated thread and then this like yellowy mustard color is variegated too. And those ones, just let me check. I was so frustrated. They are Gentle Arts. I'm using chamomile and maple syrup. And they did nothing but knot. And they knotted and knotted and knotted, and it just made me crazy. And do you remember back in August, I made a video with Samantha, and I was talking about how I watched this Tulip Pink video all about, you know, trying to stitch more efficiently, and I followed a bunch of her tips, and I'm not getting any knots in my threads anymore, ever. Like maybe 1 knot a month, which is crazy, right? Well, this thread was like every 2 minutes there was a knot, and I feel like it was the thread, like my thread length was, you know, it wasn't long, it was maybe 18 inches. There was no twist in it. I don't know what was happening, and it was just knotting like crazy. And so I was getting really frustrated at that, and I ended up having to put this project away because I had also miscounted and I had to frog it. And there was one day I had miscounted, and so I had frogged it. I restitched it, and I realized I was off by 1 stitch. And so I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was so frustrated with the floss, and I thought, I just don't think this is a day for stitching. And so I thought I better just take it out, because if I take it out, if I leave it in there, I'll be frustrated. I might not come back to it. And so I took it out again. And then later that afternoon, I thought, I really want to stitch and I want to work on that variegated floss. And so I picked it up a third time. And can you believe it? I realized that everything I had stitched previously and then a little bit more was all off. And I had to rip it all out a third time. And I just thought, oh my goodness, like I was so frustrated. I thought, that's it. I'm tucking it away. So I did pull it out one more day and I've got it to the point where you've seen it now, and I fixed all those counting errors and everything's right. But I think it was just a combination of like being off that first time and being really frustrated with the floss that I just had to set it aside. So, if you guys are interested, there's a couple things I'm thinking about doing. I was thinking about making a video on how to stitch more efficiently and how to stitch quickly. And if that's something you're interested in, can you leave me a little note? Because if that's something people want to know, I can definitely do a tutorial on that. There are a lot of really great tricks that I've learned this sort of summer, fall, in terms of being a more efficient stitcher, preventing, the twist building up in your floss as you're stitching, and just trying to be a little bit more ergonomic when I'm stitching too. There's definitely, if you're logging, any sort of like good chunk of time stitching in a day, you need to be mindful of, not pulling your thread so much and you start ending up with almost like, tendonitis from stitching, which is just ridiculous in itself. But we all know more than a few of us have encountered something similar to that. So, yes, now I might just, I'll share one more thing and then I want to pause and talk about the Advent. So we're doing Round Robin, and this is something between Sarah Lady Lugana and Samantha the Huga Stitcher, and we've each chose a project from our collection that we wanted to pass between all three of us. And it was just a good way to kind of create a new connection, but also get some more progress on a piece that had maybe been stalled out or just wasn't getting the love that we'd like, love and progress that we would like it to have. So the piece that I'm currently working on is Sarah's piece, and this is Symphony Bouquet by Design Works. This was her very first kit. Her mom had actually purchased it for her in 2021. And the piece went originally to Samantha and then to myself. So I'll put a picture of where I was last time. And my goal for this one is actually to continue to stitch all the green down below here and kind of wrap up this, like the confetti stitching, and back stitch that before I send it back to Sarah. I was in quite a rush to do it as well because I thought, we need to have it in the mail for, the 1st of November. And Sarah said, oh no, just take your time, stitch what you want, keep it as long as you want. So this is where I'm at right now. So I was able to get a fairly good chunk of it done. I did all of this green here, and then I started some of the confetti. So it's, the top part there, I think Samantha did most of that, to the white flower and the top of the pink rose. Then I did that hydrangea, which was confetti, the bottom of the pink rose, and I've done the green. And yeah, it's a fun piece because it's a large count, so it's really easy for me to stitch on, any time of day, and the lighting doesn't matter. But I do, I'm ready to move on and do my Christmas stitching, but in the same breath, I want to send this back to her, and I do want to be able to complete that goal. So I think over the next 2 weeks, I'll complete that. I'll be able to get that in the mail to her. It's actually turning out to be a really beautiful piece. It's not one that I would have picked out for myself, but I'm definitely enjoying it for sure. Now, a nice kind of segue, I think, is also in all this movement here with our Round Robin was my piece that came back to me from Samantha, and I think I'm just going to share that now. I don't have it pinned on a board, so if I can drape it on this board, maybe. So I had sent Kringles, which Kringles is a pattern by, what's it called? Little House Needleworks. Little House Needleworks. And it was released, I think, 2 years ago. Maybe 2020. No. When was that? Oh, I only have the front cover. I would guess 2022, maybe. This is the pattern here. One of our meetups that we did at Stitches at the Library, Leanne from Six Pack Stitches, she's stitching this right now too, and she had brought it, and it was fabulous to see it in person with another stitcher doing it, and the progress she has put on is fantastic. She's done the Kringles sign, and I can't wait to stitch that because that's all the Veriswa gold, and I think it's gonna be really, really beautiful. So when I had sent this, maybe this is what I'll do. I'll put a picture here of where this piece was when I had originally sent it off to Sarah. I had done the roof, which was very dense stitching. And then I had started the third window there. I sent it to Sarah, and this is where the piece is right now. So it's so beautiful, you guys. So Sarah did this underneath here, and she did this block, and then Samantha did underneath here, and she did this block. So I'll just zoom in so you guys can see the blocks a little bit better. They're so beautiful. And while it doesn't really show up well on camera, that that Veriswa, the gold is in there too. There's little details, and in person it sparkles. You know, you have the wheels on the train. You have, no, I didn't stitch these. The stars here up top, and the ribbon. And then also in the tree of this one, and his buttons. It's a really, really fun pattern. I cannot wait to get back to this. And you know, I really like how we've done the round robin, because when you get your piece back, you are so motivated to work on it. You know, you've watched your friends stitch on it for the last few months, and you know, I have to say big thank you to Samantha, because the timing on sending this piece back just in time for Christmas was amazing. So it's definitely a piece that I'll be working on in the next month for sure. So now I want to pause there. Oh, I should share. Samantha also popped this in her package as well. This is a Mill Hill kit, and it's called Winter Holiday Collection. And this one is the Jingle Bell Trio. So I'll add that to my collection of Mill Hill ornaments. And it comes with a little star charm and stuff like that too. So that'll be a cute one to stitch. I'll see if I have time to do that this winter. So I want to kind of pause here before I talk about my Christmas plans. Now, and I do have another Christmas piece I've been stitching on, but I want to interject here. So in July, I had created a new Instagram page called A Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas. And the whole idea behind this page is that it's more of a community page that can bring stitchers together. And what I'm hoping to accomplish through that is just having a sense of connection between stitchers. And so what I've decided to do is a virtual advent calendar for everybody starting December. And there'll be 12 days in this advent calendar. So I'm really excited for this. So what I'm going to do is film like a Flossmas. So every second day I'll release a short video. On that video, I will be opening a virtual advent for you guys to participate in. And so the idea behind it will be community orientated, just, you know, somehow getting you guys involved. So it'll be interactive, something that you get to do over the next 2 days at some point. And, you know, hopefully that helps to get you in the Christmas spirit, or holiday spirit, if you will, and just create create like a connection between other stitchers. So I'm going to be releasing a video every second day. I'm going to kick it off with a pattern release. I have finished stitching something called a Christmas gathering, and I'm really excited to share that with everybody. So that is that pattern is a small, it's about 5,000 stitches, and I will share that on the very first day for you guys. So we'll start off with a little bit of a gift for you. From there, I have an advent that I have purchased that I will be opening with you guys, and then I'm also making a custom curated advent as well that I will open with you guys. That is, you know, it's curated from things that are highly recommended, things that are some of my favorite, you know, supplies for cross stitch. And you know, all those little things that you've always wanted to try or you know, use but have never really had an opportunity to purchase yet. So I'm really excited to be opening that and sharing those with you guys. I'll also share what I've been stitching in those 2-day increments as well. So if you're interested in participating and following along on that, there's a couple ways that you can do it. So I will be filming every second day. I'll have a post out on YouTube, so just following along here. So if you subscribe, you'll be able to follow all those videos. And then the other thing is through Instagram as well. So I'll be posting on a Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas, and that's where the pattern release is going to be. If you don't have Instagram, and on the first day when you see the pattern, if it's one that you would like, just send me an email. I'm happy to email it to you guys. I realize not everybody's on Instagram. I wonder if I can, I'll see, I should be able to add it actually to the video as well. I'll look to see if I can do that and figure that out in time. And then I'll also be sharing links through my own Fibersandfloss Instagram page. So that will be really fun. Now, onto Christmas. So it's a bit early, but in Canada, you know, we are done our Remembrance Day, and so after Remembrance Day in my house, it's fair game to get anything set up between there and the 1st of December. And part of that is we're starting to decorate the home, is, you know, we're listening to music, we're baking cookies. We did a really cool, like a vision board with the kids of things that, you know, movies they want to watch, things they want to bake, things they would like to do that are festive. What else is on there? It's right beside me. I'm kind of looking at it. I can't read it very well from here actually, but maybe I'll put a picture in. But it's, you know, I encourage you guys to do that with your kids or with your grandkids. It's a really nice way to kind of get involved in the community locally, as well as just getting into the Christmas spirit with everybody, right? So we've done that, and I've pulled out my holiday stitching, and I'm excited to share what I've been working on and what I plan to work on this month. So without further ado, oh, actually, I'm realizing I didn't share my Kringles. It's stitched on 30 count Parisian Gray by Axis Commodities. I forgot to share that. So if you're curious, there's that info for you. I'm currently stitching on a new start from July, and this is something that Rebecca from Beck Stitches Everything and I started together when we had our stitchy meetup in Issaquah, and this is a Gold Dimensions kit. This is called Santa's Midnight Ride, and it's a popular image. I think you guys have seen this before. I've definitely seen it around, not just, you know, through Dimensions. I think it's on Christmas cards and puzzles and that sort of thing, but it's a full coverage piece. It's my very first full coverage. It is stitched on 18 count navy Aida, which is terribly crunchy. You know, maybe I should have washed it first, but I didn't, and I don't know at this point that I'm gonna wash it. I don't know. And I'm just using the kitted up fabric. So this is a really fun piece. I'll put a picture here of where I was last July when I had logged some stitches. And I think when I had started, I put 2,000 stitches into it. And now I'm at about maybe 3,500 stitches. And so this is where I'm at. I've got lots of hanging threads on there, so don't mind those. I was trying really hard to kind of stick to, you know, the individual blocks and work my way down. when I had first started, that was my plan, was to do the 10 by 10. And man, I love cross country. I love to just take that floss and go until it's out. And then I will start back in that block and take my next floss and go till it's out. You know, and also when we're talking about efficiency and stitching, it's definitely much more efficient and makes you a quicker stitcher to do it that way, as opposed to, you know, the constant stopping, starting, and the rethreading. So this is where I'm at. I've got some funny shadows happening today. The colors here are very vibrant. I am using 2 strands over one. It's a pretty thick piece because of that. The up here, the sky, for the most part, with the exception of the stars, is all half stitches, which is nice. It's fast, right? And then this is all full coverage, full X's. So I'm really enjoying that, and I want to make some more progress. I figure if I can make it down to this stitch here, straight across, that's 5,000 stitches, which sounds pretty impressive, but really when I calculated it, I can't remember now, there's a whole lot of stitches in here. As you can see, that's just the one, sorry for the glare, just the one corner. It's really not much in the grand scheme of things. So I'll continue to work on that. Now, I want to share something that I started last week. So with, and this is not cross stitch actually, but on my ladies' night, I had ordered a book from, who did I order this from? Teresa, I think, at the Kitten Stitcher, or Shakespeare's Peddler. And I had ordered this. This is Debbie Busby. Yes, and it's called Jingle All the Way. And this book is really fun because it's full of like felted ornaments. And I'm working on making something like this little letter. I can't even think today. Little letter to Santa. And I think that, you know, this is a fun book. Like all the, I don't know if I can flip backwards here, but you know, all the patterns, the details, the assembly instructions, it's all in there. There's some really, really fun stuff. So if you're looking for something festive and fun to do, I highly recommend that. So I have finished stitching the front, and I just have to sew it into a little pillow, which I will do this week, but this is where I'm at. And it's pretty fun. So it's gonna get folded down a fair bit. Like, I think it will end up being, you know, kind of more like that size there, something like that. And I haven't decided really on what I'm gonna do with it. We do have a stand for our stockings, and there's a mailbox on it for Santa. And so I may finish it so it kind of hangs off of there. I have to have a closer look at the stand. So I will finish that this week. I think that's a really fun piece, and then I'll probably work on a couple options from there. So I really like the gingerbread man, I think is fun. And then the other one, which is gorgeous, and I've ordered some felt. I like to use, you know, there's felt at the craft stores, but if you get 100% wool felt, it doesn't fray, and it's thicker, and it's much, much nicer. And so I've ordered some. And what I'm interested in doing, oh, where did it go? Is there's this mat, and I thought, oh, that would, I don't have anything like it, but you know, I use a lot of candles at Christmas time, and I think it would go good for just to have on the table, right? Here it is. So it's just like felt applique with a little bit of stitching around the edges. I think that could be kind of fun. So that might be the next one that I work on. We'll see. If you're interested in the book description, I will put it in the description box below. So on to Christmas plans. Now, I want to show you my options, and I think it would be really fun if you guys decide what should be my focus piece for the next 2 weeks. And whatever you choose, I'm going to put a lot of work into. So our options are Kringles, which you have seen. So here's our Kringles. Our next option, where did it go? Kringles, that's been started already. We have Santa's Midnight Ride. Then I have this very old project. It's by Just Nan. It's been like folded, you know, every which direction, I don't know. And it's the 12 Days of Christmas ornaments. And they don't look like anything too special, but I have completed one of them here. And this one, you know, it is on like an opalescent fabric. I did a terrible finishing job. I think I could do a lot better now. And so that's one that I'm wondering if I should work on that. So Just Nan is another option. My other option is I have a small start on, my pattern's not in here. The Holiday Queen? No. I can't remember what her name is. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. She is beautiful. She's stitched on this gorgeous like chestnut linen, and yeah, she's so pretty. And I've started her. I think I did like right in here just a little bit. You know, we always talk about this. There's that damn yellow and beige and white again. It seems to be in all my mirabilias right now. All this color, it's in every single one I'm stitching lately. And I don't know why. Like, I need to make a conscious effort in my next one that I purchase to not have any of that color. But she tends to use it on a lot of her designs. Holiday Queen? A Christmas holiday? I don't know. Whatever. This is an option. My other option is something from Victoria's Sampler, and this got kind of eaten alive in a vinyl bag. And that's why a lot of people don't like vinyl. It's called Beautiful Finishing, and there are 3 ornaments here. And it's not just about stitching the ornament, but it's really about finishing it and learning how to finish them properly. So I have stitched this one, but I haven't finished it. And I have not stitched that or that. You know, it's this book. I can show you this page. Look at the details and the instructions for finishing. It's just amazing. That's one of the pages in this booklet, and I highly recommend Victoria's Sampler. They do have some really, really neat pieces. I've talked about them before, so that's an option. My other option, I think I'm gonna stitch this one regardless of people's votes, but Just Nan. And this one is Gingerbread Candy Mouse. And so I like her because she's beaded, she's small, she's something different, right? And I also have the box for her to stand on. So we have the Gingerbread Mouse by Just Nan. My next option is I can't show the chart, but it's a 1999 Christmas Angel by Marilyn. This is Nora Corbett's mom. And you know, back in the day, they used to give out these little freebies as a Christmas gift. And some of them are actually listed on, I guess they'd be Nora's designs, but on mirabilia.com there are some free designs, and they do have like the little angels and cherubs and stuff. This one's really beautiful. She's got like stained glass behind her, and so I'm thinking of making her into an ornament. So that's an option. I've got 2 more options. This one here, I just did the whole, let me read that. I don't know that I've ever caught myself doing that before. This is no. What? It's called One Starry Christmas Eve by Brenda Gervais. Why does it say Country Stitches on the back of this? Is that... I've never stitched a Brenda Gervais before. Is that her publishing company? I know she's with Needle and Thread, but I don't know. Interesting. I'll take it out of the package so you can see it a little bit better. there. So it's stitched on Aztec red, and the back, like the Santa and this black background, that's full coverage. And these two pots are beautiful. And then there's actually, I think this black border, I think, is stitched too. It looks like it. I haven't even opened this up yet. Oh, what? It is stitched. It's not stapled together. It's just like, you know, loose paper in the folded cover. Interesting. Anyways, One Starry Christmas Eve is an option. And my last option, this was a recommendation, or I saw Audrey from Stitch Bead share this. And Audrey, this is so cool. Talk about enabling. So Brooks Books Publishing. Okay, I don't even, whatever, but they make cross-stitch designs. And this, like, I've never seen anything like that in all my years. So she is stitched on perforated paper, and this ornament stands up on your, you know, wherever, your table, your mantle, whatever you like. And so this particular one is called The Spirit of Christmas. And what's really, really cool about this is they have like 40 of these. So you can get the ones that are like, you can get Santa Claus, you can get Mrs. Claus, you can do a whole bunch of Christmas ones, but they also have like the knitter. And, you know, she has like knitting needles and a basket of yarn and whatnot hanging from her hands. You have the quilter, you have, you know, she's got her rotary cutter and her fabric and that sort of thing. And I think this is really, really cool. There's a little bit of black work in the wings. Oh yeah, it's all stitched full coverage white, and then you do the black work over top. So this one's a little bit misleading because there's a lot of little parts, but I think it's so unique and I cannot wait to stitch this one. Okay, so those are my options. Can you guys vote for me and let me know which one you think should be my focus piece? We have Spirit of Christmas. We have One Starry Christmas Eve. I have my lavender and lace freebie. I have my gingerbread mouse and gingerbread block. Beautiful finishing. Still can't think of her name. You can just write mirabilia. 12 Days of Christmas. 2 more options. Santa's Midnight Ride. Little House Needleworks, Kringles. Let me know your most favorite option, and I'm gonna put some good work into that over the next 2 weeks. Please pop on over, follow Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I'll share all the information for the Advent calendar. I have some giveaways that I'll be doing at that time for little Christmas gifts. And of course the pattern release that will be coming out. So I'm very, very excited to share all that with you guys. So make sure you follow along for that fun. Of course, you can just keep watching right here. You can like and subscribe, and then that way you'll be able to see all the upcoming videos for Christmas. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot to me to be able to share my stitching journey here, and I hope to see you guys soon, probably in the next 2 weeks, just before Christmas. I will do, just before December 1st with the Advent, I will do a wrap up on all my regular stitching now to the end of November. And then we'll dive into our Advent. Thanks so much. I hope you guys are getting ready for the holidays and into the spirit of Christmas or whatever it is that you enjoy celebrating in December. Thanks. Take care. Bye for now.